At 80, you can ask me, did you make your films?
As a woman, I want to make the next 1,000 crore film.
What is about this story that is really pulling you in? We're working on Patal Lok at Amazon. It was a very difficult show, and yet that became a show which absolutely got 0 negative reviews. Right. The only show in the history of, I think, streaming.
Like, everybody on Twitter is like BMS trending 27.5k tickets. Everyone is so full of data, including the audience. Right. So that's the world we live in. So that hunger for the audience is now reducing. The future challenge is going to be AI versus you.
We've got 4 very fine storytellers and filmmakers who've really made it their mission to not treat cinema merely as a means for entertainment. That is important, but actually use cinema as a medium to say something about the world that we live in. So please allow me to welcome Mr. R.S. Prasanna, director of Sitare Zameen Par; Ashwini Iyer Tiwari, director of films like Nil Batte Sannata and Bareli Ki Barfi; Aparna Purohit, CEO of Amir Khan Productions, and someone who had a big role to play in a lot of the series that we watch on Amazon Prime; and of course, Shrujit Sarkar, who needs no introduction. Ji. Really the dream team this is. I want to actually start by asking something that I said in the introduction. I think that we've been trained and we've accepted that cinema is meant to be, and we're constantly, I think the mainstream wants to tell us that, and it's not a wrong statement at all that cinema is to entertain. But is it only to entertain? And I think that through the work that y'all have done, y'all clearly are saying that we have something to say through the work that we do. Yes, we want to make entertaining films, and that will be the medium and the format through which you'll tell the stories. But you clearly want to say something through your films, and I suppose the first question to ask is: are we working in a climate that is conducive to making films or series? Or telling stories that have something to say, that may go against the grain of what is mainstream and popular. How empowered do you feel when you wake up and say, that's the story I want to tell? Do you immediately have to follow up that question with, but will they allow me to make this?
Yeah. Hello. Hello, check. Hello, check. Hello, check.
So take this.
Yeah, hello, check. Yeah, that's fine. What's your question?
Do you feel like, is it easy, are you able to wake up and say, this is a film I want to make? Do you often find yourself asking, but can I make this? Does the climate allow me to make this kind of film? Does the system allow me to make this kind of film? I mean, just looking at your last film, or the film that every time I meet Shrujit, I think he tries to avoid me, because any corner I meet him, I start talking about October, which is my favorite film. And I know he's moved on from October, clearly I haven't. But I'm like, how conducive is the climate and the system to be able to make these kind of films?
I don't know. I mean, that's a challenge every time you pick up a story and you feel like, okay, this is the story I want to tell. That challenge it's not that it's a present climate is such that you are debating which one and how you want to tell the story. I think I think then you have to define a lot of things. As you said, entertainment. Then you have to define what is entertainment. Right. So there are many definitions that you have to start breaking it. But if you start doing all that, then I think finally you won't be able to tell the story that you really want to tell. So result of these debate internally has been that you like this story and you go ahead. Right. And of course, the budget that goes into it, the time that goes into it, the collaborations that happen, you become responsible as a director to recover that cost, because now has finally boiled down to the costs, and so if you think and take that responsibility of recovering that break-even cost, I think then as a director you're done with it. But now problem is, for example, like in box office, my last film was a disaster. But then what do? I won't be able to stop myself and doing that. I'll have to take that hit and okay, fine. But you still have to stand up and say, there are many stories to tell. The problem happens that you have to keep believing yourself.
Yeah.
That you're in the right path. So that's the only thing that can drive you to move on. And it's not the climate or the market or the people or the audience. Right. That doesn't drive me. It is to drive myself. Yeah. So if that can happen, I think then it's okay. Whatever story you want to tell, that's what I feel.
Okay.
Rajiv, I feel that there was a time when we used to watch cinema, and the kind of stories which we had seen, we never spoke about the box office results or how much money did it make. All we were very interested in was to see the story, the storyteller, and the actor performances, which really created so much of nostalgia. For me, nostalgia is a very important thing, and I feel that most of the older movies till a certain time, maybe 2019, 2020, were a place which was of coexistence, where we could see cinema of all kinds, from all kinds of directors, and it was a coexistence thing. So I would see a cinema which would be, for example, let's take my example of my movie. There was a Nilpati Sonata, and it was a houseful theater for so many screens, and at the same year there was a Dangal also.
Right.
So that would be a classic example for me.
Of coexistence.
Yeah, of coexistence, where it didn't matter what was the size of the film, but it mattered what was the story. So for me, I think that is very important that we come back to that, is because the narrative, and we all are very responsible for it, including the media, is that the narrative has to be not about 1 + 1 = 2 or should be 4, but 1 + 1 can also be 11. And 1 + 1 can also be something infinite. Right. It is what the narrative is, and the narrative, because of the social media and because of so much happening around and because of everyone becoming a critic, and I'm purely talking from a storyteller point of view. When we tell stories, we are not thinking, we are looking at an idea, and it's our gut feeling when we say that, okay, I want to tell this story, or I'm okay to produce this film, or there's something which is really nice. Yeah. Then the next step comes forward, where you go to a producer, you go to a studio, and you say that this is a story I want to make, and are you willing to put in the money which is required for the story? Right. Now, the kind of actor we want makes the budget of the film. Yeah. We all have to be very honest about it. But can we concentrate more on the story? And when we concentrate more on the story, then a film can be an X amount of 100 rupees, and a film can be of 1,000 rupees also. Yeah. But what is the narrative there? Now, a small film, but at the same time with a big heart and a big story, cannot get 100 crore. And then everyone just starts talking about the director, the writer, the things which is not required at all. And in the end of the day, they put the confidence levels of a director so low that the next time when they're thinking of a story, they're thinking twice whether they should tell the story or they should not tell the story. So that's how we started greenlighting films in our own head. that should we tell the story or should we not? What is the audience going to think? What is the media going to think? What are the critics going to think? What is everyone going to think?
Right.
So it is just not about the story, it is about what everyone else is thinking. And now I'm going to make a film.
Yeah. Okay.
But in spite of all that, to just see still some movies happening because of a few people out there who are willing to put the money required, like Aparna has been a great example of that, to say, okay, you know what, we are going to concentrate on the storyteller and let's just make films.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashwini. I'll go back to the first question that you asked, and I believe that cinema has the ability to connect, to unite, to provoke, to shape, and to really change people. And therefore, I feel as storytellers, as creators, we have immense responsibility. And all of this can happen while getting superbly entertained.
Right.
So I really feel that representation on screen is very, very, very important. And authentic representation is critical because, it allows a shared history, culture of people. When you see someone like yourself on screen, it validates you, it inspires you, it tells you that life's okay, that you're a part of a shared identity and not just on the fringes, on the, on the benches sitting in the corner. And so this authentic representation has been very, very important for me always. And I'm really glad that after my journey at Amazon, I got to be a part of a film like Sitare Zameen Par, which is such authentic representation of diversity. We've never, neurodiversity, where we've never had a film like this, and it truly required, an appetite, a risk-taking appetite of Himalayan proportions, to make a film like this. But the sheer conviction with which Prasanna, Amer worked on the film, the way the film was cast, the way the film was nurtured, the way it was translated on screen was beautiful, and even more beautiful was the reaction of people. It has been not just a critical but a commercial success for us. So I think what's important is really to be able to tell stories that matter, that really keep you up at night, that you feel you are able to, change something in the society within the right budget.
Right.
That is really important.
Right.
So yeah, that's very important for me.
Yeah, Rajiv, I think it's the eternal dilemma between I read a quote somewhere that the tension to create is the tension between wanting to communicate and wanting to hide. So we all want to communicate and then we also want to hide. All of us have that, right? So the vulnerability, so how much to kind of be vulnerable, how much to show. See, end of the day, there's a producer, there is an investor who's backing a producer, there is the machinery of filmmaking, there are a lot of people whose lives are at stake, from the catering crew to our, everybody it's a career, including that of the director, the star, everyone. So, yes, that is a financial responsibility that all of us have to take. And that is a school we come from, that make sure that the producer at least, is respected and the intent is there. We never know, any movie can happen, but at least the intent is displayed. But I think, end of the day, it is the intuitive voice of the filmmaker, irrespective of the genre, that this beautiful conviction between the producer, director, writer, the star or the actor, the crew, that beautiful chemistry where they see a castle being built in the air and it's slowly coming to life. So yes, like Shujita also beautifully said, it's very internal, the struggle, more than the external forces. That also I think the question that we need to possibly ask now is, can this be, there is this thing where they say, can this be a message? Can it be a mail? Then why are you calling me? That's what apparently the Gen Z guys are all asking, right? So then we should also possibly ask ourselves that, why does this need a cinema to tell? Does this you feel intuitively that I want to, like for example, Sitare Zameen Par, we wanted the people with Down syndrome and autism to be up there on the big screen with Amir, you know, right up there with Genelia, with that, and give them that representation, that celebration, you know. And when we look up, we kind of the whole movie looks up to them.
Yeah.
So there was an intrinsic need for us to look up to them, literally.
Right.
So I think it's interesting. So now in my mind, for example, if there's a story I want to tell, I will be thinking that, does this need to go theatrical? Does this need to go web series? Does this need to go short film? Right. Or it can be an Instagram post.
Right.
You know, it could be anything. It's a need to communicate. Right. But I think if we feel a story lending itself to something I want to tell, but it also entertains in the theatrical format, then possibly we'll pursue that.
Right.
It still may not work.
Sure.
But at least at the impulse.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, to take off from that, I want to ask all of you, what sort of determines what you want to make next? Because I'm guessing at any point, every producer and director has multiple balls in the air. You have multiple ideas that have come to you and you know, feel like these are ideas that I'd like to develop. How do you sort of determine how much of that is based on what's working? How much of that is based on how passionately I want to tell the story now? How much that is based on, will I get the talent, will I get the cast to be able to tell the story at this point? What are the factors that determine, I mean, all of you actually have just finished a project, I'm guessing. So each of you are at that place where you're probably determining what next. What goes into that decision?
I think for me it is like falling in love.
Yeah.
One hopes, you know, when you fall in love, you don't plan for it.
Right.
So I think you fall in love with a story.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Like when Sitare Zameen Par happened, Campiones was offered to me. I saw the film and I just fell in love with it, madly in love with it. I was possessed for the last five years. Yeah. So I think it's that obsession, you know, you hope to fall madly in love with a story, and then I'll figure out that intuitively, do I feel this is a theatrical experience, or is it like I said, it could be a short film, a web series. The form of it for me comes next. But for me, the first thing is that, do I feel, because I'm also an audience, I'm also a consumer.
Right.
So I'm also consuming, you know, stuff around me, books, movies, web series. So I think it's important to be an audience for me.
Right.
And I also listen to a lot of people. But for me, I don't go by, in fact, if something is a trend, you know, movies come out 3 years later.
Yeah.
So chances are that precisely I'm doing something which is not the trend.
Right.
Because, you know, then it might actually work. Because by the time, who knows how the trend will.
Right.
But I think we also do the wrong decoding of trends. You know, so suppose an action genre movie works, it's very easy to decode it as action. But it may be an emotional movie that worked. You know, the emotion behind the action worked. The characters worked. The world building works, which we say very simplistically, ki action movie chal gaya.
Right.
But the audience is not looking at a kind of box.
Right.
We tend to put it into a box. But I think the best movies cannot be boxed.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they set the box office on fire, but you cannot box them into one word, you know. So which is why when people are surprised, that analysts are surprised that, okay, action movie bhi chal gaya, romance bhi chal gaya. Arey, par that's not the reason why.
Right.
Like,
People respond to stories, not genres. Right.
to stories, not genre, I feel.
Right.
I think Prasanna said it very beautifully. As producers, we get pitched like at least 2 stories a day, and there are just stories and stories, and you know, often you hear action hai, you know, it's got all the masala, it's got love, sex, betrayal, you know, it's got a very strong villain. But that doesn't excite us. I think what excites us is the story.
Yeah.
What is about this story that is, you know, that is really pulling you in, that is taking you down a journey, that is building a world for you that you want to indulge 3 hours in while watching, or 2.5 hours, and 3 years making it. And, you know, if only trends would be working, then a small film like Sayyara wouldn't come out and just blow people's minds. You know, a film like Sitare Zameen Par will not come and bring the family audiences back into the theaters. So I really feel it's the story and how passionately, how authentically, you sort of nurture it and tell it, that is important. So for us at AKP, and AKP is always turned the tide and, swam against the tide. When action is in, we make a Sitare Zameen Par. When big love stories are in, we make a Tare Zameen Par. So I really feel it's the stories and in whose hand is that story is what matters.
I think I have a huge responsibility as a storyteller to tell stories through my voice. So every time I'm thinking of what's going to be my next film, I do understand that how it's going to challenge me as a filmmaker. Is my voice correctly put out there? Is because I do feel that amongst 100 people, there would be at least 3 people who would know my voice and would be coming for my voice, and I don't want to cheat my audience. For me, my audience is very important. And I also feel that I do select a story where it does challenge my brain. It just puts me in a very uncomfortable space where I need to work harder, and it doesn't make me complacent. And at the same time, I do want to tell stories which goes way beyond me. So it has to be archival for me at least, that way after I'm gone, at least some of my films are spoken about. So I keep those parameters, and I think one important parameter I also do keep is that would my children who are 15 years old and who are growing be proud of my films when they look at it back, or they cringe and they say cringe. So I think that is very important for me, that the people who are with me and who are my well-wishers, who are my family, need to feel proud of the work I do.
Sure.
I have a social responsibility.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sujit?
Yeah, I think all these, my co-panelists, whatever they said, I mean, those are very important things in making your film and what you do. I also consider the fact that I am always told by a lot of my film fraternity that you are making this film, but the audience won't understand. So now, then it's like I tell them, I consider my audience intelligent. I don't consider my audience who's coming to watch my film is not intelligent.
Right.
So that's a challenge. I mean, if when they come and they say, no, you have to explain everything. I said, if I can understand, why the hell an audience can understand? I mean, just tell me one reason. No, समझ में नहीं आएगा, बहुत ज़्यादा deep बात कर रहे हो. मैंने बोला ठीक है, fine. I'm saying these are the challenges that I face apart from whatever this. And I think आजकल लोग फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को, बॉलीवुड को बहुत they abuse and गालियाँ देते हैं, इन्वॉल्व देते हैं. मुझे लगता है कि ऑडियंस को भी एक responsibility लेना चाहिए of going and watching the film that जिसको तुम गाली दे रहे हो. Right? So audience की ज़्यादा responsibility होती है to make a film and go and watch that film what you're abusing. And the fact that you are challenging yourself in the film, or you are trying to tell a story which you think is making you or correcting you as a person, that's what you're going to tell them. There are different filmmakers. Of course, as I said, money factor comes in, then the consumerism comes in, right? The fact of that, okay, will it sell or not sell? I really want a situation where I don't have to bother about the money that I spent in the film. I collect from people and I make the film and I just release it, and I don't have to worry about what it earns or what it doesn't earn. Like a subsidy, a government gives me a subsidy and that gives me, okay, you make a film, Shrijit Sarkar, okay, you go ahead and make a film. I want a situation like that, and where I don't have to think about an audience intelligence of explaining my film. So that's where I come from.
I just want to add something here. I just want to add something here. I think about 4-5 years back, we were in a place where, again, because it's your platform, Rajiv, and we're sitting here, I just wanted to pinpoint this point, is that I think as a country, we have a whole lot of filmmakers who are women, who are now telling their stories in their own voice. And it is so nice to see that off and on, I keep getting scripts where the opening is that, this is a story which is led by a woman, the actor is a woman, and it is a woman-centric film, which never used to happen few years back. And so there are writers who are writing it, there are producers who want to make it, and I get scripts where it's a very good story which is headlined by a woman. So, that's a great space to be in. I do feel that that the more and more we have women voices who are telling stories which are not women-centric, but also stories which could be, which would be gender agnostic, would be even more nicer. So, but again, thanks to platforms, thanks to, again, I know I'm praising Aparna here, sitting here, not because she's next to me, but to create a wave of change and to have more female voices coming in is a huge change for our country. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have far more number of, correct me if I'm wrong, than any other in the world, maybe? Women creators. Maybe equal to the US or something. We are still less there.
We have a long journey.
Long way to go, but at least we are there. So yeah.
We are beginning to get better, but we have a very long journey.
Yeah, I think you should be adding to that. Sorry, Rajiv.
Sorry. No, just to Ashwini's point, while I was at Amazon, Rajiv, you're aware of that, what we did initially for all the shows was that we had a lot of interesting scripts come in, and the creators would say that it's a very feminist script, and if you'd ask them that, how many women worked with you, they said, well, I'm very feminist, so don't need a woman. So we would say that it's great that you're feminist, but you would never be a woman yourself.
Correct.
You would never know the woman's lived experience. So we started telling them that please have, especially when you have characters, who are women, please have them as part of your writer's room. There was a lot of resistance until we mandated it. And we started saying that if there is no woman in your writer's room, your project will not get greenlit. And we coined this phrase, no diversity, no green light. And massive resistance, but eventually it became a part of everyone's life.
Right.
And we started seeing that, there were women and more women in the writer's room. And then, once we managed to achieve that, then we started saying that if you have a character who's from the LGBTQIA+ community, then you have to have somebody from the community working on the script with you. Because no matter how big an empath you are, you would never be able to translate that experience in the best way. And then once we got to that point, we started saying that we now need at least 30% women as HODs. So don't come and tell us, oh, we have a lot of women in our crew, which is great, you must. But are they really in positions of influence?
Right.
That is very important, because only when women are in positions of influence can they create more space and room for other women, and open more doors for women.
Right.
So, yeah, that we started doing.
Rajiv, just to add, I must also say that while the impulse to create and the impulse to kind of fight, I must also acknowledge that, a lot often the need to create and the strength to create and what keeps us up right? Always we are scared of always things, so many things. It's actually films and filmmakers who have done the good fight.
Right.
So I want to convey my love to Shujitda here. So the films he has done have always been, those films from Vicky Dona to Piku to all that he's in October. So in fact, when I did my first film, sir, Kalyana Samuel Sadam, which is the precursor of Shubh Mangal Savdan, as I was kind of finishing the draft of that, the original Tamil film, I saw this film called Vicky Dona. And it is thanks to Vicky Dona and thanks to you, sir, that suddenly I could convince my producer of the opposite of Vicky Dona. And Ayushman happened because of Vicky Dona. And I told him that only a Vicky Dona can play this character with security. So thank you, sir, for that. So I think oftentimes we forget that we actually, a lot of us, we take inspiration from films.
Right.
That, okay, when you're down, you feel, no, but Lagan was done. Why not us? Piku is done. Piku, and it's always the audience. You always have this inner barometer that, yeah, audience supported Lagan, audience supported Piku, audience supported Neel Bhatta Sonata also is something I really, really love. So Pankaj Tripathi was the rock star of that who got, so I think a lot of thing comes from the fact that, okay, audience supported that film. I'm not saying my film is as good, but it has the same honesty, so maybe the audience will come. So that also, sir, gives a lot of inspiration to us. Yeah.
I want to pick up on something that you just said about Ayushman, and I want to ask all of you: do you find that actors today, and I'm saying actors, but I guess I mean actors who have some commercial currency, movie stars, do they sort of lean towards something that is new and original, and as a result, sometimes untried and unsafe? Or are they leaning towards safer, which also is it's tricky because what is safe anymore? But the tried and tested. Do you find that there is an appetite for risk-taking, the same risk-taking that storytellers are doing? Do you find that appetite echoes with actors as well, movie stars? All of you.
I don't know. I mean, they are as insecure as we are.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in film industry is a very insecure business also, insecure profession also. I mean, I can dream of making films, but I don't know where I'm going with my next film, as we discussed. Yes, but I think what an actor brings in at this moment for me is the accessibility.
Correct.
That the film can be accessed. Given the fact that in Piku, Deepika agreed to work with me and that kind of a character, which I don't know, we found Deepika, a new Deepika in that film possibly, with Mr. Bachchan coming in, with Irfan coming in. So I think they gave me a little platform of accessibility for sure. If I would have cast somebody else unknown, it would have taken some time for me to travel with the film. So it's completely given there. I think they want to experiment. It's just, it depends on the director and how the story falls. So, and all the actors, they have been experimenting. So, and especially the present generation actors, they are doing it. Right. They are collaborating, but they are insecure. Right. But it depends how. But the only thing is that sometimes an actor overloads the film with the budgets. Yeah. So there you will have to negotiate with them. Correct. But some actors, if you can give them the economics of it and they understand, so they agree. Right. I have seen them agreeing to the fact. Of course, they don't want to fail. Sure. Directors can fail and still come up, but the actors don't want to fail. So that's where they're most important, that how populist it's going to be. But I think they are a breed who are experimenting. Right. And especially coming after the platforms and OTTs coming in, they're doing more. Right. They're getting some really good scripts to play on. So I don't have anything against the complaints against the actors. I think they're participating with the director.
Right.
I think a good actor, an actor who really wants to act deep in his or her heart, wants to act and wants to get that really good script where the acting prowess is just out there. And of course, it also depends on who the director is and, how much the director can mold the actor. So I do feel that the younger actors, there was a time when the actors were slightly, there was a lot of ifs and buts. It's because the moment they get into a comparison chart, then it's like, I love the script, deep in their heart they love the script, but then there's a noise which is going around them which says, should I do it, should I not do it, what will happen 1 year later, what if someone else does something else and I have done this thing, and so it's a very normal human nature to think that way. It also depends on what stage of their lives they are in and how much do they want to achieve, but deep in their heart I would disagree if they say that they don't want to act, because an inherent core of an actor is to act. And if a good script is there, they will make it happen. It doesn't matter what the noise is. But having said that, there was a time where they were telling no to scripts because of inherent need to be seen in a certain way, but now things have changed. And because of web series coming in, because of films where the rejoicing storytelling comes from everyone and just not on the actor's shoulder. So what happens is that they are even more calmer now, because it is a joint effort.
Right.
And when there is a joint effort, then the responsibility is not on the actor. And it is important to get a good actor is because definitely they drive the film. How much ever we say as directors, we can tell so much, they take it to the next level. But it's gone a little easy now, where actors are far more open to be experimenting and are fearless, is because they see that the responsibility is not on their shoulders and it is divided amongst everyone. So, and how you pitch it. I think most importantly is how you're pitching the film and how it goes on a marketing level. I always feel that you tell yes to a good story, but it's how you pitch it and where you put it out there. If you have a superstar who comes and says, I want to make this film, like how Amir sir did that, and you pitch it that way, people are going to come for that, is because they know that they are coming for that film and they're not coming for the starlet or the extravaganza which goes around it. I mean, that's what I feel. Yeah.
I'm representing Amir Khan Productions. An actor who has absolutely no qualms putting on weight for a character, has no qualms playing an 18-year-old when he's
truly the dream, right?
Yeah, like the biggest risk appetite that any actor can have. But I just wanted to also add that it's about, like Ashwini was saying, how you pitch it. Are you pitching it as a risk project? Or are you pitching it as a project that everyone's going to work together and put it out there and make it a success? It really depends on the conviction of the producer, and that is very, very important. And I wanted to add that there are a lot of projects which instinctively big stars say no to, because it is not the trend, it is not action, it's not meaty enough, it's not starry enough, and that's when new stars are born. That's when, a Sayyara is born, Lapata Ladies comes about. So it's fine. We'll keep creating new stars that way.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I also feel that producers and studios are taking that bet right now. And when the load is just not on the actor, then what happens is that the load is even on the director, the load is even on the writer, and the producer also. So when we're even pitching to an actor, we're saying that, it's just not on you. You just come on board and we will just do it together.
So there is a solution to it. The solution is I don't go to producers or studios. I produce myself. So that's the solution. I earn a lot of money from here and put it in the film there. So I'm not answerable to anyone. So if anyone who wants to make a film, do it yourself. And then you will be not answerable to not answerable to anyone.
And you can distribute it yourself by putting it on a platform, on pay-per-view, and getting people to come and pay for your film, like we've done.
No, this I realized.
I'm lucky.
Quite
I have two producers on both the side. I'm coming with one script here, one script here.
No, Aparna, I'm going to work with you for sure, but I'm just saying, it's just that I realized in the beginning itself that I could not convince anyone with my script. It's not that their fault, it was my fault. I was not a good narrator, or I was not able to pitch myself correctly. There are many people who face like that. They might be a very good writer with a good art story, but they're unable to pitch it. And I realized that that's my problem. So now I had to address that problem. So I did a lot of work, I earned a lot of money from other jobs, and I put it in the film so that I didn't have to face that.
But Rajiv, this is a very important factor, you know. It's not only about thinking of that script and writing it. It's also how you go and, you know, this word called hustle has just been in my mind for far too long. And I was having a chat with Aparna like a couple of days before. It is just about how you have to go and sell that story. You have to go and present yourself beyond the writing. You cannot just write and say, okay, now
I'll get discovered.
I'm going to get discovered. Oh, nahi hone wala. That's not going to happen. You have to go and put yourself out there, and you have to say, I have the script. Can you please read it? Can you, if you have accessibility to the right people, it is important that you just do go that one step forward.
And be willing to wait like he did.
Yeah. I also heard that, you know, it's just not a couple of people were telling me that every day they are reading, like in a year, at least they must be reading about 500, 600 scripts. Platforms, and I'm sure Aparna must be knowing that. So it
With
was
chat GPT. Some of them are chat GPT.
yeah, they're reading
Chat
scripts
GPT
all
also.
the time.
The writers
Now
are
in that 20 scripts a day or month or whatever,
Nowadays,
my
I believe
baby is
we can
also
write-
as important, right? I'm one of them.
I think Rajiv, now ChatGPT is also writing scripts and all that. So I think recently I was researching about this, was talking to a stock market analyst or trader. So they were talking about how the personality of the investor, there are some long-term players, and then there are people who get a heart attack every day, or they celebrate every second. Oh my God, my stock went down. And so I think when you work with people like Mr. Amir, the advantage, talking about stars, right? I think he is one of those OG legends who are long-term players, right? So I think there is a certain relationship he has built with the audience over decades. And that is what for him is very sacred, right? So when you work with someone like that, I don't think they come from this insecurity of the everyday, stock market going up and down. They come from a larger play. So I think taking a leaf of that book as a director too, like, having worked with a person who does a very big film in the box office and then does something like a Dobby Ghat, then he does Peoply Live, then he produces Lapata Ladies, and so much of diversity in that. I think when I look at someone like him and some of the legends like him, then you learn, okay, so this is like a long-term play where you slowly build a relationship with the audience, and that relationship goes beyond box office. And, like, again, filmmakers are there, right, whose work you always want to see. So I think the vagaries of that particular film, will always be up and down, up and down, up and down. But I think new stars are also created, new work. Like, I just saw the applause that Jaideep got on the stage. It was like a rock star, like Rajnikant down south. Like, it's so good. So it's finally the audience. The audience make stars, and the audience are the ones who tell you that, okay, this guy I want to see, this girl I want to support, or whatever. I think so. That's fabulous. And I think if you go for a kind of a long-term play, then it might be a little more kind of, you look at the balance sheet on a long-term play rather than every single day. And I think today data in the hands of people, like everybody on Twitter is like BMS trending 27.5k tickets. This theater is only half full. Like everyone is so full of data, including the audience. Right. So that's the world we live in. So you can't. But I think we should not take that beyond a point in the negative way.
Right.
You know.
Right. Ashwini mentioned Sayara, so I want to talk about when something. Sorry, Aparna mentioned it. When that film does well and does like astronomically, it comes as a jolt out of the blue for everyone because no one expected those kind of numbers. Probably not the makers themselves. I'm also now on the ground working with actors. The impression is that everyone's confused. The impression I get, the voices I hear, and the people I meet, all the big studios are like, let's make one love story with newcomers. And it's interesting also what Prasanna said earlier, because by the time those come out, that trend may have passed. How do you resist that? And Aparna, I suppose this question is really for you because you're a producer. How do you sort of resist that? How much does one give into that? Not getting swayed by trends, or is there a mechanism to really understand why something like that works and pick the germ out of it, and not just aimlessly just say we'll make a love story as well with newcomers? It can't be that basic, right?
Like I just feel that's a trope that we can never fall into. Love story is working, let's make a love story with newcomers, or an action.
And yet that's exactly what the bulk of the business does.
Yeah, and that is why bulk of the films don't work. Exactly, that's the reason. I really feel that it all comes down to that germ of a story. Your connect with that story, with the characters in the world that story brings, your intuition. Because if you are going to fall into that trap, like Prasanna said, 3 years later, by the time your beautiful love story will come out, action or thriller or horror would be the
new flavor of
the season. So I really feel it boils down to your conviction about that story, and we shouldn't fall into, like, I'll give you an example. When we were working on Patal Lok at Amazon, it was a very difficult show and very, very difficult to cast. And, when we decided to cast Jaideep for that, it wasn't an easy sell even internally. The marketing folks weren't superbly excited about it. And they kept saying, can we go to a bigger actor and a bigger actor? Very complicated, nuanced storytelling. How will audience take to it? And yet that became a show which absolutely got 0 negative reviews. Right. The only show in the history of, I think, streaming got 0 negative reviews. And Jaideep became the star that he did. So, Patal Lok. So I really believe that, when we were doing Bandish Bandits, people said, who's going to watch a love story, about classical music, like nobody takes to it. And yet it worked, Made in Heaven. So I really feel it's the story that you need to connect to, and the passion of the creator.
Right.
That is important.
मैं कहता हूँ, एक दिन गोलगप्पा खाओ, एक दिन डोसा खाओ, चाउमीन खा लो एक दिन थाली खा लो, और एक दिन उपवास रख लो, फास्ट कर लो.
Beautiful.
So it's exactly like that. और अगर आपको गोलगप्पा मोहन बाबू का नहीं अच्छा लगा, तो आप दीपक बाबू का खा लो जाके अगले साल. So it boils down to that. And in the present situation, I feel stomach is full, and whatever platter में आप कुछ भी दे दो, supply is too much.
Right.
So that hunger for the audience is now reducing, because that's what I'm telling everyone, because बहुत कुछ है. There is a lot of pending to watch. A few years back, not much, you were waiting for a film,
yes,
right? If I am waiting for F1 and then I eat that food twice or thrice, I watch that film. If I am waiting for a Nolan film, I am not worried that I have to watch a trailer.
Right.
What is he making? I know it's Nolan.
Yeah.
And I will go and watch it.
Right.
I don't want to see anything. I don't want to watch the trailer also of the film. I'm telling you, I just want to go and watch that film.
Right.
Because I have known that film, I've known him
Correct.
through his films.
Yeah.
I know what kind of a personality he is.
Right.
He gives his characters, his behavior, his personality, his emotions, everything through his films. And I know him very clear, crystal clear. There is nothing between me and him.
Right.
I think that's what a film and a director should be doing, actually, you know.
Right.
That's the relationship that we're talking about, is that I'm not worried what is he giving me. I know that he's going to give me and I'm going to take home something from that.
Right.
So that's what I think the culmination of a filmmaker should be.
Right.
That's where we should try to reach, where Martin Scorsese or a Ray or even for example the Australian filmmaker Gareth Davis, who is a jury in such a prestigious filmmaker, with one film like Lion, which is based in India and an Australian story, he just won over us. I mean, I don't have to worry about what he makes next. I know I'm going to watch a Gareth Davis film.
Right.
So that's how I see. I have a Golgappa wala in Kolkata, and I go and eat Golgappa from him. So you can understand how good he is.
Correct.
So
Must be from Delhi.
yeah,
Because there you have puchkas, na?
Puchka pala.
Just to add to what Sir is saying, I remember when Bareilly Ki Barfi was made and it was released, the first question which I was asked was why there are no drone shots, why the film is not looking big, why there are only these characters which is looked from one point of view as a lens. And my whole thing was that before it released, that I wanted to make it because I wanted to see one old man who's sitting and watching all these characters. You know, they are like the microscopic lens who just sit there and keep watching these characters going every day, whether it was Pankaj or whether Tripathi's character or whether it was Kriti Sanon or Ayushmann and even Rajkumar Rao's character. After it got released, of course, with all the love and everything, then it was like everyone wanted to make one Bareilly Ki Barfi kind in some small town. And I myself have got so many scripts which was like, I would get up and I say, now I know the color of the wall, I know it's going to be light blue, I know the characters are going to be like this, I know they're going to go to the chai tapri and have food. So it just became too much for me to even understand that how can, you know, the same trend in the same house is because you only have so many locations in Lucknow.
Correct.
And you can only go to that many houses.
Yeah.
You can only create that many landscapes.
Right.
So, and the trend changed again.
Yeah.
And then the same thing came to, okay, now let's go a little higher and let's maybe do a metro city.
Right.
Make it slightly more glossier because the clothes have changed, you know, the men and women have changed in terms of how they look at it.
Yeah.
You know, Rajiv, I just wanted to add that people
And sorry,
have...
just want to add one more thing. You're talking about Sayyara. For me, more than anyone else, this is one man I want to give complete credit to is Mohit Suri.
Of course.
The reason being is that his musical sense, how he creates even a simple scene. On paper, it would just be a man and a woman looking at each other with a lot of love in the eye. But how he shows it with the background score and with the music he gets alive, I think he does it phenomenally well. He does it so beautifully that you start feeling for those characters and you start longing. It becomes very aspirational.
Right.
That, oh my God, the beach shot, they're all like dancing and, you know, running. Oh, I so wish, you know, this was also, it's an aspirational thing. And all the credit should go to Mohit Suri for that, to create that world.
Right.
Because making a love story on paper just looks like one simple line. They are on the beach running behind each other and there's immense love between each other. That would be the screenplay ka line. But to show it on screen with that kind of music and that heartfelt inner turmoil comes only from the director's vision. So hats off to him.
Yeah. Sorry, Pranay, you were saying?
I just wanted to say that people have stopped spending enough time on writing. They don't want to spend time on writing. They just are in a rush to get the film out. Not enough time is spent on writing. Not enough time is spent on prep. Not enough time is spent with workshopping with actors. Just get it out somehow. And I think that's really harmful. So I really believe that it's important to spend time writing, to really dotting I's and crossing T's, and really ensuring that everything is on paper before you take it to screen.
I also feel, Rajiv, that the distance between the makers, by which I mean the producer, director, writer, and the star, the primary creative collaborators. The distance between them and the audience, if it is very close, then the chances of your primary conviction working will be very high. Still, you may make a bad film. Still, you may end up making a wrong film. But at least the distance between me and my lover
is bridged.
Yeah, it's a relationship. Yeah, I'm. You know what happens? I find a lot often times that I conduct a lot of workshop with young people and all that because they come with dreams in their eyes. And when you go to the industry, most people are unhappy. I'm like, but aren't you happy being in this industry? There are a million people who will give an arm and a leg to be on this set. Of course, it's a very tough industry, blah, 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 and all that. But fundamentally, there ought to be a certain sense of joy and a certain sense of gratitude that, we are here telling stories. And I think the distance between the filmmaker and the audience has to be very close.
Right.
Which is why filmmaking, film festivals like this and panels like this, when you go meet people, you watch movies in theaters, you consume content more and more, you talk to people, only then you will know ki, acha, it's not about kya bik raha hai. It's not like, oh, what's selling? It's like, what is my audience? I mean, am I still an audience? Because I think, especially for a mainstream audience, I'm saying, that conversation between, I am the teller, but who am I telling it to? Who's listening? Today we have an Instagram world where everyone is making content, but who's watching? So I think that more and more, if we watch and consume and get inspired by the new films which come around, then it kind of, that is very important. And I've realized that when you become a filmmaker, you kind of get incentivized to go away and become like this ivory tower and like very intellectual and, because everybody can tell you what is wrong with a film. Even my kid can.
That's right.
He's 8 years old. He will watch and tell this graphics is wrong, this dialogue is stupid, that dialogue is overacting, that every kid can do, boss.
Right.
But one or two people can say this movie will still work.
Right.
Because it's a mainstream film, it's being watched by hard-working people who are going through lots of misery in life to earn that monthly salary. From that, they're giving you a ticket and they just want to experience joy or some emotion. So then that, if you don't live that life constantly, then I feel that we are going away and away, which is a trap which all of us can fall into. But we must help each other to come back. Say, that's why film festivals like this, when you meet all of you, it's so important to do more of these, I feel.
Every time a film is releasing, the night before, I think all of us know how much of a confident we are. We are not sleeping the night. We all have butterflies. And the one line which we write is that we have made it with a lot of love. Now the film is yours.
Yeah.
And what I find is that the audience is equally responsible for a film. Like what Prasanna was saying, is that it becomes theirs. It's because when they go and watch it and when they celebrate it, that's when we also shine together. Their encouragement makes us make better films. In a day and age where criticism is such a huge thing, a little bit of kindness will do. And a little bit of appreciation and kindness will do. So you may dislike 10 things, but maybe you will like 5 things. So why don't we just start with the 5 things and then start with the end with the 10 things? That would be great. What's happening right now is that we are waiting to criticize.
I'll just quickly.
I'm dreading the day when there will be dislike buttons on Instagram. Maybe they'll just increase than the likes.
Let's not give them ideas.
I'll just quickly add, again, speaking about Amir sir, because it's been great learning with him. Amir sir cries and laughs every narration, every cut, he laughs the same way, he cries the same way. I think that's unbelievable that he's able to retain that audience in him, and which is great. Like some people have the ability to retain that childlike enthusiasm for cinema, for mainstream cinema. Yeah. He has got that. He's unapologetically Desi Indian audience. I think that's why he's very close to the audience, and we'll constantly learn that from him.
I want to ask one quick question before we open it out. Very quickly, is there one passion project for each of you that for whatever reason you haven't yet been able to put on the screen? That is something that you hope to, and it could be any reason. It could be just, it hasn't come up yet, you haven't found the right cast, you haven't found the money. Is there one passion project that is sort of simmering and waiting to come out of you?
Sorry, I was looking out. Sorry, bataiye.
Is there one passion project? No, but I'm sure even then, even though you produce your own films, the passion.
Oh, okay. Means that I want to make.
Yes, that for whatever reason you haven't made yet.
यार मुझे और कुछ फिल्म बनाने दो, फिर पूछना ये सवाल तो मैं बता सकता हूँ. Let me age a little bit more. I mean,
Okay.
At 80 you can ask me, did you make your films?
Okay. Yeah. Actually?
Yeah.
You know that. I think we all as filmmakers have always 2-3 scripts going on parallelly, and we are always at some time. I think sometimes it's about struggling for the actor, how much of a good work you have done. Doesn't matter what stage of your filmmaking career are you in, we'll always struggle either with time or with actors or with budgets or with I think sometimes it's just right being there at the right time at the right place.
Yeah.
And once you miss the bus, then it's very difficult to get onto the bus again. And you have to wait for the next bus. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to produce a project that is truly global. Right. And that's not like a wedding, kind of a Indian destination wedding, but a project that is truly global, that has the legs to travel across the world, that resonates with audiences across the world, and hopefully like an Indo-Australian project, that can make that dream come true. But truly a project which has strong women, produced by strong women, and
can I be in the line for the director? Can I pitch for director, please? I can send my resume.
But truly global.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And which is not talked about like as an Indian project, but a project that's loved by everyone. That's my project.
Okay.
For me, I have two, the one which I think I don't know if I'll ever be worthy of it. So I've been told, always set a goal so high that you never reach it. So it'll keep on inspiring you, like something so difficult. So for me, when I read The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, that was, I think, like a lot of us.
Tough one,
Yeah. So I've always, The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, which, I put up a post saying, thank you, Ayn Rand, for beautifully ruining my life. So that is one book which I think is something I'd love to adapt, but I don't think I'll ever be worthy. But something that is, like Aparna said, I'm also a big believer in global cinema. So there is something in recent times, again, this is not something that's going to be my next or something, but I'm coming from the same region. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Srinivasa Ramanujam, the mathematician.
Yeah, mathematician, of course.
And the person who said that he got mathematical formulae because Devi came to him in his dreams and gave him all these formulae. Yeah. And he used to quote a temple in Tamil Nadu and saying that temple, the Devi there, she told me all of this. And all the Firans were like, what is this guy smoking?
Right.
So I know that Dev Patel has done a movie.
Made a bad film. Yes.
Okay, I didn't say that. Rajiv can. So Dev Patel made a movie called The Man Who Knew Infinity. Right. But I think I would love to make like a beautiful mind version of it, where you get into the mind of Ramanujam.
Yes. So I was going to add one thing.
And make mathematics, like mathematics is a very terrifying subject. I'm an engineer.
Right.
So maybe for children who dread math, which is 99.99% of the world, make mathematics beautiful, because Srinivasa Ramanujam is a Tamil genius. And I think he and Hardy, the British collaborator, truly global collaboration between two guys.
Yes.
I think that would be a passion dream project.
Okay.
You know, such a strange thing is because I was in a different panel and Anupam had asked me the same question. And I think I'm going to repeat it here also, that I want to make the next 1,000 crore film. As a woman, I want to like make the next 1,000 crore film. So it's like, yeah.
Good, yes. Like crack the glass.
Crack the glass ceiling. I don't want to say I want to make a mythology. I don't want to do that. But yes.
Yeah, the lady in the front row. We'll have about 4 or 5 questions. I don't think we'll have time for more. Can we pass a mic to the lady in the front row?
We can hear you anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I can just come. Yeah, or just take the mic.
Yeah, take the mic.
Thank you. This is such an inspiring panel of all like great minds of filmmaking here, and I'm a young aspiring actor, and I have some existential questions sometimes, so I thought I would ask them. I have worked in independent films. As of now, my film is also screening here, but given that the space for distribution of independent films is shrinking, I don't know when they will come out. And also, I see these AI commercials now, which have AI actors, and it just makes me wonder, like, I am starting out as an actor at this stage. How does one make space for oneself when the landscape is changing so much? Yeah. And do you also have, like, existential questions like this?
I mean, are you asking me AI versus you?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. I think the future challenge is going to be AI versus you, for sure. That's going to. But, you know, in all this, what works is ethics. You know, there is an internal mechanism in everyone and under all of us, which is ethics. That's going to work about your AI question that you're asking. But you're asking me?
To everyone. Like,
Okay. Sorry, I picked up my...
Where can AI get emotions? Can AI...
No, AI will get emotions also
Emotion,
in future.
can
They will
I,
get emotions
can
also.
I
No, they will get
feel,
emotions.
the
They
crying
will get
and the
everything.
laughter?
The AI will get everything.
But having said that, some of the corporates, there's a fixed rule that you cannot even do AI presentations as mood boards. So that's a strict rule. So as a creator, I'm telling you that.
Okay, as an actor, just quickly just give you my experience in my life, what I have gone through and how you're trying that, how we're going to make your way through as an actor, right? So देखो यार, ऐसा है कि एक शादी में जाओ और शादी का इंचार्ज बन जाओ आप, ठीक है ना? And you arrange that entire marriage. राइट उसमें पूरी जिंदगी का एक्सपीरियंस आपको मिल जाएगा सारा एक शादी अरेंज करो और शादी का फुल इंचार्ज बन के डू एवरीथिंग सो दैट व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दैट दिस इज नॉट some that you cannot crack it, you know, it just you will have to be at it and how much you're ready to sacrifice for it. There are many actors who at the age of 50 or age of 60, they have finally got their, you know, place in the industry. So are you ready for that? Then you are in a good place. But then, yeah, 60. I mean, yeah, maybe at the age of 50 or 60. I know many actors who have worked in IT industry for 40 years, and then they have come up that we want to act. Then they have gone into a workshop for 6 years, 7 years, and at the age of 50, they have got their first assignment as a so it's all depends how you are at it, right? So that's what my suggestion would be in terms of to be an actor and to stay there wherever you are.
I think the other part the other part is to, because we do a lot of ad films, it's always important to then, if you are an upcoming actor, to start with ad films, because that keeps your acting prowess on, and then go into independent films, is because ad films is a huge space to at least, you know, enter and figure
और मार्टिन स्कॉर्सेज़ी ने तो बोला ही हुआ है ना कि कैमरा उठाओ और बनाओ अपना फिल्म. बस वही मार्टिन स्कॉर्सेज़ी का मंत्र is the best mantra.
I have made my film. It is at this festival.
Oh, very good.
It's an independent film. That's what I'm saying.
Very good.
Like, it's an independent film, so that is what I was saying. The space is shrinking. We don't know if it will come out to an audience. Yeah.
I just want to add 3 things here. One, that as a young actor, keep working on your craft, keep honing it, keep working. Whatever work you get, keep working. And there's never been a better time because there is so much content getting produced right now. There are, series that are getting made, films, short films, small, micro dramas. There is just so much content. So keep working. There's never been a better time to reach your audiences. You can really put your content out there for people to watch and figure out multiple ways of monetizing it. So again, there's never been a better time for distribution. And third thing that I want to say is that as a woman working in media and entertainment, you will constantly be dealing with imposter syndrome. You will constantly be dealing with people who will come and question. You'll want to validate yourself. You will require validation. You'll second guess. You'll doubt. People will doubt you. Have a tribe. Have your community. Have more women who support you, because that's the only way to survive this very, very tough industry.
Thank you for saying that.
And then there is Mukesh Chabra is also here, so you can go and talk.
Lady in red in the second row.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a pinching moment for me to be in front of so many amazing filmmakers of the industry. My name is Vrinda, and I'm an actor in making myself as well. My question to all of you is, what makes an actor a director's actor? Would you want actor to be challenging your vision, or would you want them to surrender to your vision completely?
Want to talk?
Mostly actors do surrender because, I'm the boss. But yes, it works both ways, You must understand that finally what an actor does, it's an actor's experience. I can be the best director, I can be a very talented director, but finally what you see is that actor has done. Because that moment that actor performs and you say action, it is not you, it is that actor who is doing it. So I can guide him through, I can take him through, I can take him to a one final moment of that, what is this character? But finally it is the actor what you see that he is doing, he or she is doing. So it is, I am the director, I am behind the camera, but what you see is that actor's experience and actor's emotion. So that's how this collaboration happens.
I think it's also important to have a lot of conversation with your director and see the vision of the director there, and then take the vision of the director, understand what the director has to say, and then move on. So the director can guide you till a certain extent, but what if you're twitching your eye because you're thinking of something that the director is never going to say, but the director is smart enough to capture that moment because of the conversation we have had before you got onto the scene. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
The lady there at the back.
Lady in the back.
Yes, you.
We can hear you.
राजीव 30% men भी करवा देगा।
हाँ, चलो।
30% men का कोटा भी दे दो भाई। अपना please, with your permission.
ये कर दिया। वो जाके वो कर।
One of our favorite, Mr. Arvind Swami is here.
Oh.
And then he thought he could quietly speak.
That is an actor. That is an actor.
Natural crush.
OG national crush, irrespective of gender.
Yes.
Name for sir. It's basically the thinking women crush. So yeah.
Yeah, you can carry on, ma'am.
No, that's all right. Yeah, first of all, I'm
Sorry. It's an amazing panel, and thank you for doing the work that you do and taking cinema in the right direction. My question is for Sujit sir. So, in all the movies that you have done, whether it's Sardar Udham, whether it's Vicky Dona, Piku, the cultural representation and the relevance of ethnicity is very, very clear. So, my question to you is, when you do the script and when you're trying to pitch the script, do you already have someone in mind who will be able to perform it to the best of their abilities? Because India is a huge land, it's diverse, and you would want somebody to represent your thoughts from paper to the screen exactly. Or after you have selected or after you have gotten your person, the performer, you kind of tweak into the script just because you know that they would do it in a different way and they'd be more comfortable.
Yeah, good question. So what I have done is in all my films, so if the first line of the concept is there, what I have done is with my writers, we have collaborated and we got the actor first. Who's going to play this character? We have developed the character. We have not written the script yet. So once the actor is also with us, then it becomes quite comfortable for us to write with that actor in mind, you know. So whether it's Piku or it's Sardar Udham, I have always first I've gone to the actor. Even for Gulabo Sitabo, I went to Mr. Bachchan and said, and this is kind of a character that you're playing. For Pink, the character he played as a lawyer also, I went to him, and then the character was not clearly etched out, but we could tell him that this is our vision. So, and after that we have wrote the script, thinking about how these characters, and we keep meeting, and once those meetings and addas and cha and jhalmuri goes on, that's when we know each other, and that's it's a matter of acclimatization with the actor.
Yeah.
Once this acclimatization is set, then I think that essence of the scene or the cinema or whatever, it comes out clearly, and then the actor is also comfortable, as a director is also comfortable, and writer has put those words and emotions according to the actor's easy vocabulary.
Yeah.
So that's how I have worked. There's only one film where I have, or two films where I have cast after the script. That was Deepika Padukone for Piku, because I didn't know that she will work with me ever, but she agreed to work. So that was the film, and I think the second that film that happened was I'm forgetting, was Vicky Dona with Ayushmann coming on board. But we did change a lot when Ayushmann came on board. So we did change according to his taste, according to his character, the way he is as a person. So we do that. And my next film, I'm doing something else completely. I'm writing the subtitles first. So people can understand that. So I told my writer, yaar, tu pehle subtitle le.
But so I just want to tell you that you provide a lot of courage to storytellers, because I'm a Bengali who's raised in the northeast of India, and I know those languages better, and I've never had the courage to present those stories, because those are my home stories, and people would think I'm closer to a Kolkata or a Delhi. So you have given immense courage to people to write and present those stories. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But let me tell you, my passion is not cinema. My passion is football.
Good to know.
One more question, right?
Yes.
So how's your experience while working with
Yes.
And you see anyone playing football,
Yes.
they know the tram and go and start playing football.
So we can expect a sports movie next, ma'am.
What if you play anywhere football,
He'll be. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, one more question. And like Prasanna said, it has to come from a gentleman. It should come from one question.
We need male representation too.
So Prasanna, you pick. Sir, one question, please. Sir. Okay, this is young boy in the front.
Hello, I'm Ashwant. I'm 15 years old from Chennai. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here for IFFM and for your insights as well. My question was, like, how as filmmakers do you like scout for new talent and like new opportunities, like especially like outside of India, for example, here in Australia? Because I feel like all of you are known for, you know, like searching for new talent and discovering and nurturing them.
New talent.
Through casting directors. When we have a fully written out script and we break down how many actors, characters there are, how many characters there are, then reach out to a casting director who do an outreach to multiple actors, start screen testing them, auditioning them, bring it to the directors, and they start shortlisting from there on.
My last film, I did cast through Instagram. So we saw an actress named Ahilya Bamru. She used to do some kind of you know, reels and videos in Instagram, and we saw her and we contacted her, and then she came on board, and she was also quite surprised. So I think you have these mediums too, where nowadays a lot of actors are putting up their reels on YouTube and Instagram, and people can access. And we are watching, I mean, the industry is also watching those reels to really pick up some fresh and new talent. You can do that.
Are you looking for acting, or you want to, are you also looking for ADing kind of?
Oh yeah, I ask because like I'm a musician as well, so I play piano and violin, and I also aspire to act and to perform and score as well. So yeah, I was just curious about how like there were avenues and opportunities.
Yeah, so like Sujita said, Instagram and social media is the best way to put out your talent, is because although people think that we don't see, we are very glued on and we keep watching things, so yeah.
Also, I think we are moving to a creator economy where you can be the creator. And today you can produce, you can do stuff on your own, like you can put it up on social media. And all of us are together in this, right? We're always looking for great talent in anything. And once, I think if you're a talent, if you're bursting with talent, it's very, very difficult to suppress you. It might take a number of years, but I feel that if you're an actor, act. If you're a music creator, create. You cannot be stopped. Be the force. And you'll just somehow figure out, you know, that somebody near you will say, wow, he's awesome, and then the thing. But I think it's important to create every day and not think too much about the hustling part. I think we've, over the last 5 years, talked too much about the hustling part. So I feel an overemphasis on everyone hustling and then forgetting what they're hustling for. You know, what am I supposed to do? Like, just keep creating every day, wherever you are, in whatever space you are, create.
It just needs one piece of work. Like for example, my next film right now, I've got a very young musician who's a first-time music director. He's not made any films yet, but this one piece of his, I liked it so much that I'm getting him from Chennai to Bombay to create music for me. So, I mean, it's all depends on how it is, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm told that's all the time we have today, but thank you to this amazing lot of storytellers. I feel like our cinemas and our stories are in good hands. If we have sort of passionate, committed storytellers like you, I feel our stories are in good hands. Thank you. More power. Thank you so much for sharing so candidly.
We need more people like you also who always encourage storytellers.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for coming.